that we cannot restore any of the saves, which has a continue option like this. So if you see this, we have to hit the upper option. Hitting this just starts a new game, and we reset the run. If you save after it, it resets the run, which is pretty obvious, means no trading. But yeah, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. The reason why I add that rule is because of the douche that decided to use the second rule and a loophole in it, which is basically what he did was restarted the blue version, which should not be allowed considering you need technically 2 copies of the same game, and that's why I put that rule there, because I'm pretty sure he did what I think he did by doing that. And that's just not going to slide with the speedrunning community. Like, that's just a dick move in its sense of the word. Word there. If you do something like that, you're not a speedrunner. Runner at all. I have some guarantee that one will not be submitted ever. And if it is approved, I don't know. I guess it's a part of that now. That's why I added 7-4 in. It isn't so that way I only need to catch less. It's not that. It's so that way it can be as true to the speedrunning community as possible. Well, not like his crap, but we just went ahead and did, that. I am rambling though. But just to remind you, that stuff is not allowed. You cannot do that while playing this. It'll be the speedrunning community's decision if they want to keep that loophole as an exception. It's kind of like the Pokemon Red and Blue bike shop glitch. Like, is it allowed? Is it not allowed? Besides, he basically used the same game twice. Oh yeah, and another thing. The save file must be the exact same. No changing save files. Save files. Except when you're trading. That's the only exception. That means the save file must be at one and only one save file per game. Because that would basically be impossible in VC, and we don't want that. I'm rambling now, let's continue. One start again. Second start. Let's get started. Just wanted that to point out of the way. Better that way, so that way no one does the crap he did. We get past that. We do not tolerate that stuff too in this community. It's never explained why he did it first of all. And to this day we'll probably never get an explanation. I really wish I could listen to all music, but I can't really. What is this luck I'm on? I saw might find one of these. Aww. Anything is allowed except that crap from now on. Because that crap should not be in the one whatsoever. It's just, that's so cringeworthy and a stupid move to make. I have no doubt for one thing that is not getting put on the one because of that crap. If it even is the one. He doesn't even have life split anyways. I mean, yeah, I didn't have some parts of my one, but I made sure to put the times up on a Google Doc when I released it. All I'm saying is, don't freak with the speedrun community. Or else. I don't freak around with the rules. Okay? I make rules that in this one that they would probably find desirable and at least good enough for the run. Adding one extra rule requires less Pokemon to catch, but it's probably the best way of doing it. Because it's more easier to tell. Because when you start a new game, guess what speedrunners can instantly say about it? Oh, it's a spiced run, because they're starting a new game. And we don't know if that's actually the real run or not. Which is why I added that 7-4 in. There's a lot of other stuff in that one that killed beasts and so suspicious, but I'm not moderator for it, okay? That's their job, not mine. If it was not obvious already, I am having suspicions of that one entirely. Not to mention, for one, it seems too fast, but I don't know. Could just be me. I mean, the whole point of it going fast, I get it, but he does some weird stuff, you know, and somehow is keeping up. There's just something wrong with the run for me, dude. I don't know, it's probably just me, though. It's probably just my eyes playing tricks with me or some crap like that. But there is something fishy about one for me, anyways. It probably isn't anything fishy of the one except for the stuff he just did. But, yeah. Something's not right with that one, dude. Also, the fact he got it done in 27 days is really suspicious. Like, that's weird. Why end it on the 27th day of all things? Oh yeah, let's not forget the fact that, well, basically, most of my run is grinding and getting the Espeon stuff, which I'm gonna have to remind you, needs to actually be done. It's just mine's on native FPS. Well, I do admit mine's probably slower than his emulator because both emulators are different. Mine's the preferred one since it runs on native, which is basically speedrun preferred FPS because it keeps with the FPS that's usually on the console and not emulator. Which leads me to believe that's why it's going fast. I get the feeling he was using speed up because even though I can't really tell, there's just something wrong about the run for me. That's enough of me speculating about the run now. I need to focus on this. All I'm saying is that there was something wrong with that one. But I said I was gonna stop with it, so yeah. Just my suspicions though. Even though I don't have a hand cam, you can bet I'm playing on a GameCube controller for this. I would show the inputs, but, well, I can't in this emulator. This is not possible, to my knowledge. To my knowledge, it's not possible. The reason why it wouldn't be tasked is because of the trading sequences. That's one of the reasons why this is not a task. A task would be impossible because of the fact that it would be of the trading sequences. The trading sequences are the problem if this were to be a task. So that's why the task, if you think this is one, is ruled out because you'd have to like have perfect inputs for 2 Game Boys, and that's not possible without constant delay on one of them. Besides, it can only be done on a single window anyways. Keep that in mind. Also, it's not spice. This should be obvious, it's not. You can really just tell it's not spice at all. It's a VOD, so it's not, and it's live. It's streamed from the source. It has delay. So why would it not be that? Why would it be spice? There's just something fishy about some of those ones, those segments, those days. There's something suspicious about it, too. I mean, look, Gen 1 is one of the fastest games to go through, and I probably don't need to grind the Johto stalls nearly as much. I can probably just go through the game without needing to get a lot of the Pokemon to level 100. But you know what? It's a fair point. That's a fair point. I don't need to go ahead and level up that to Venusaur. So you know what? I'm not going to level up Squirtle or Venusaur to level 100. Not yet. The reason why is quite simple too. Not to mention, he didn't even go through the rules I'm setting. Every Pokemon doesn't need to be level 100 in this thing. All the games must be strictly beaten, which means the lead fight must be beaten. One sec. Alright, I'm back. Alright, now it's just a distraction of some sort or whatever. Yeah, this is not the best game to grind in case you couldn't tell. Which is perfectly fine. I'm not planning to do all Gen 2, but you can see the segments, like 13th day in the segment currently. To my knowledge, this is what that is. When we get to Gen 1, that's when it's gonna get really fast. You can tell it gets fast in Gen 1 because of text speed being almost instantaneous when I go ahead and do anything in some of the game, which you will see. Like I said, at most it's probably going to last 1 hour. I'm not nearly as fast in some of the segments, you know, going for long 3-hour chunks of the entire stream. Day 1 in the other part, one of those parts was the exception. You know, that wall. It's just I have so much stuff I want to do after this. Keep in mind, I didn't want to think of doing this at all. I was just getting sick and tired of the cringe that was in that video, so I decided to do an actual one that seemed that isn't actually cringe, and make a one that's actually not cringe. And it's on right. And that's a very good thing, yeah. Mind you, it's not sometimes the creator's fault of it being cringe. He just had the wrong emulator, and then ball looking for an emulator that actually works with trading. He just thought, oh, Electroarc's such a good emulator, it won't crash very often. But look what happens, it crashes. Almost every single stream. Name one stream that hasn't had that emulator of his crash. No, go ahead, I'm waiting. Time's up. Almost any of the streams will always have a crash, except for his last one for some reason. I don't know, I never watched the last one fully. I just knew it was suspicious of something. Also, it should be a dead giveaway that one, well, I've always said. I know I've pretty much complained about the one while I'm doing this. Well, I'm actually doing a one of this. But I just want to point out the fact that this, whatever happened, pretty much goes ahead and does something like this. And people think it's not suspicious. And while I do agree, the one is pretty decent and solid, the crashing should be a dead giveaway of why that one's not getting accepted. If at any point the one crashes, you'll be starting your butt back from the beginning. Like, that's a guarantee. At least MGBA has a native option and allows it not to crash, unlike other emulators. Look, I know Electroarc's a good emulator for all-around points, but those type of emulators have a bad time trying to run the game without crashing. If it wasn't obvious already. I mean, look, I like doing the runs, but it's like at some point you gotta stop and and just think about what you're doing. Like I said, these ones will become pretty short. Obviously. It's time I broke the truth. I'm not feeling well, and I'm not getting nearly enough sleep. Every single day I feel more tired than I normally am. Throughout this entire run. I'm not joking when I say it. I'm not sugarcoating it either. Even if I get near 10 hours of sleep, guess what? I'll wake up, it suddenly acts okay for a few hours, and then I feel sleepy again. I have no clue what's causing it, but I'm gonna find out, and it's gonna be probably something bad. I'm just saying this now, so that way, if there's even no day thing for one of the days, that's probably why. Even if you don't like it. we'll also need to make sure I have a list of what Pokemon I have gotten so far and what I haven't gotten yet, so I can check them off when I'm done with the whole list. And that list is going to be something I am waiting to show when the time is ready. When the time is right, I will show that list. It's just not now. When the time is right, I'll release that list along with all the segment times, and those that were questionable, I'll put the times I believe will, and I'll ask what segments needed to be retimed at the end as well. So that way, if this is going to go on a run, some people can look it over and actually tell the time, since I don't really have the equipment to do so. Oh, in this predicament that I am in. Again, I don't say it's impossible for me to do this. It takes a long time, and something tells me his run is sketch. Sketchy is all hell. The fact that he got all of that must mean he's doing something that I think is kind of crazy. There is at least something that is wrong about that one, and I can tell you it's Gen 2 that is completely wrong in some case. I mean, yeah, sure, he's not fighting all of the trainers, but, like, he obviously is doing something to cause, like, this to start happening out of nowhere. Like, you suddenly gain 27 segments in, and is already done with something. That, and over time, it's supposed to be longer than that, and I know that for certain. Then again, I've been unable to actually see a list of what I've been doing, so maybe that's it, but I highly doubt it. After this is the last grinding segment I'm doing, at least for now. At some point I will need to grind again, but not here. Really. The Gen 2 stores have already been maxed out as best as possible. And that is why I decided that there's going to be a lot more of a change. While I am the second person to attempt such a thing of this one, I'm probably the first to admit that this one has some shady past. That these ones have shady past in their own right. Because, like, there's no way you can do all of that in 27 segments. By the way. Also, one of them was a redo. And that cannot be done. That's another reason that's not going to be allowed on the leaderboard. You can't redo a segment without having the save, and that's just not possible. You cannot do that in this kind of game. If any at all. I guess this segment can be called the reason why the other one I think is kind of strange, but to my knowledge it doesn't break any of the rules so far. From his rules anyways. So maybe it's fine, but I don't know. It's just, there's some reasons I think it's not going to be allowed. I'm not saying I don't want it to be allowed. I'm saying that's why I think it's not going to be allowed. On the leaderboard. There's a difference. If anyone's watching this VOD, hell, even watching this as a video, I want to thank you for hearing me out about this, and not cutting away. If you haven't cut away by this point. I thank you dearly because it at least knows one good thing that someone's actually listening to this, and at least knows what I'm talking about and my struggles here. I have not really had a good upbringing from the start of it, but I'm starting to think it may improve. Just a little bit. Who knows though? That's only my hope. But it's not gonna happen probably. I don't know what to do at this point, okay? I mean, do I just not complete the run and just stop at heal? Because I, like, do not have a very good condition currently. Of my health currently, probably. What the freak, dude? I mean, I didn't think he'd actually do something like that to where he'd bend the rules a little for his own run. Achievement. That's what I think happened anyways. I feel tired right now. And it's 3:30 p.m. in the US currently for me. I want you to let that stink in for a moment. 10 hours of sleep, and I'm tired, yo. Oh, and another thing? Guess what? It was past 8 when I woke up. If it wasn't obvious already, but... Alright, this was the last climbing session for me. All I'm gonna say is... Thank you for listening to this segment. Hopefully next segment is longer. See you then. I have been Hybrid M in this one, and I will see you next time.